Me on sign language interpretation tonight is Flora Atieno. The decision by a three-judge bench at the High Court to issue stay orders on their ruling that declared the Housing Levy Fund unconstitutional has been met by stern criticism from the Law Society of Kenya. The ruling now means that government has been accorded more time until the 10th of January 2024 to regularize the legal framework around the housing levy. And as NTV's Sidi Chazima reports, the Law Society of Kenya has termed the High Court's ruling a classic case of giving with one hand and taking with the other.
And the taxes levied against persons in formal employment to the exclusion of all other than formal earners to support a national policy without a clear justification is discriminatory, irrational, and arbitrary in violation of 201B1 of the Constitution and therefore unconstitutional for those reasons.
This was Justice David Majanja's ruling on the constitutionality of the Housing Levy Fund. In his finding, Majanja argued that the move by the government to only deduct the housing levy from those in formal employment was discriminatory and hence had gone against the Constitution's dictates of equal and fair taxation. The respondents in the case against the housing levy then immediately sought stay orders to defer the implementation of this ruling, basing their arguments on the timing, legal implications, and the contracts that had been entered to by the government and contractors.
Allow me to apply for a stay or a conservatory order for 45 days. In those 45 days, I urge you to suspend the operation of those particular findings in the judgment and any decree that may flow therefrom.
This judgment places a Kenya Revenue Authority at a position where it will be subject to suits for illegally collected funds, and two, will need a stay order to prevent refund claims which shall be made.
A declaration of unconstitutionality cannot benefit from a stay order.
The application that has been made before you is highly speculative.
The judges, after a brief recess, would again return to the court chambers at 3 o'clock, bearing good news for the government and KRA.
An order of stay be and is hereby issued, staying the effect of this judgment issued today, 28 November 2023, pending the filing of a formal application for conservatory stay and conservatory orders in the Court of Appeal. And these orders of stay shall remain in force until 10th of January 2024.
In line with this stay order, government now plots to use the 10th of January window to align the housing levy in law, as pointed out by the court.
We will sit down, evaluate the judgment, and consider whether there is any other interim matter we can do in the House so as to ensure that the housing levy is not interfered with. You all know that it is in force, money is collected, and in fact, as we have argued here, there are contracts out there which are being fulfilled using that money.
The Law Society of Kenya, through their president Eric Theuri, are now accusing the courts of aiding the government to get away with illegalities.
It almost feels as if the court is working in cahoot with the state. In a sense, the court has given with one hand and taken with the other. This is a radical departure from what other courts have done.
Bless you all.
Other than the ruling on the housing levy, other matters of the Finance Act of 2023 were also adjudicated. The three-judge bench affirmed that the act underwent sufficient public participation, throwing out the petitioner's argument that public participation was only conducted for face value. The three-judge bench also threw its weight behind Parliament, which had been accused of including 18 additional tax clauses to the Finance Act, which were not subjected to public participation, arguing that Parliament had the right to make such amendments. It is now back to the drawing board for the government as far as its much popularized flagship project is concerned. The respondents will now seek an appeal over the unconstitutionality of the Housing Levy Fund at the Court of Appeal. Sydney Chazima, NTV at Milimani Law Courts in Nairobi.